TomSka!
Hey Tee Cee!
Welcome to Skool Girl TV's Author's Corner.
Thank you, it's lovely to be here.
So, let's get straight into it. Describe your general book writing process.
My writing process is a mess, if I'm being quite honest. I usually just take a blank piece of paper and I just scribble all over it like it's a notebook, like it's a school book. I just doodle ideas, thoughts, individual lines. I just get all the ideas out of my head onto one piece of paper, and then I will usually type up all those ideas in some sort of an order, and then slowly kind of flesh it out, build things up a bit. So what I did first is I planned out every page that I wanted to happen in this book, every main beat, and then I worked with my friend and co-writer Eddie to turn all those beats into little poems, which was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I thought that would take a couple days. Took a couple months. I'm very good at what I do, I promise.
When did you realise your desire to become an author?
Well, if I'm being honest, I never really planned on being an author. I'm a writer, but I write scripts, comedy scripts. But in the wake of, all the YouTuber books that were coming out, like Go Online from Zoella, there was a party and I wanted to be invited. So I got a book deal as well, and I had to spend a lot of time thinking about what I could write, what I could create that I'd actually be proud of, that maybe only I could contribute, and this is what came out, an edgy kids' Christmas picture book type thing.
What would you say makes your writing style unique?
It's kind of hard to say what exactly makes my writing style unique in regards to this book, because we were limited to writing all these rhyming couplets where each line was exactly 11 syllables. So it was really down to what words we could fit in there. But one thing we did do to try and set it apart is we didn't want to have swear words in there. We wanted people to actually be able to enjoy this without, getting upset or offended. So we replaced all of the implied swear words with Christmas words, like Yule log and other things. I'm very good at this.
What are your top 3 book recommendations?
I mean, I've got to be honest with you, really. I'm not a very strong reader. Books were never forced on me as a kid, and I apparently didn't have any interest in picking them up. So I would just read a lot of comics or watch cartoons. So I do like comics. I like a lot of them. Currently reading a series called Descender and Saga. I'm a Hero, Blade of the Immortal. A lot of things.
Who are some of your favourite authors and why?
Well, following on from the last question, I'm not very big on books, on just straight up literature. But, I do love comic books, and I do love cartoons and movies, but it's kind of hard to tell where the writing ends and the director begins. But I love a lot of the worlds created by, one of my heroes would probably be Rebecca Sugar, who created the cartoon Steven Universe, and Pendleton Ward, who created Adventure Time. These are people I look up to. I'd like to be them, basically.
From your personal experience, where are some of the best places, people or things to find writing inspiration?
When it comes to coming up with ideas, I do have a lot of techniques. One of them is mind mapping or brainstorming, depending on which phrase you like to use, where you take a word and then you write all the words associated with that, and then you write the words associated with them. Sometimes I go online, or I flick through newspapers and I just pull out random words that wouldn't naturally come into my head and just try to build up just a list of things. And when I see all those words together, inspiration may jump out. I do sometimes just listen to people in public. That sounds really creepy, doesn't it? But like I'll be on the bus or on a train and I'll just hear someone chatting, and you'll be hearing things that they say out of context, and therefore you create stories to fill in the gaps of what they're talking about, and sometimes those stories are probably much more interesting than the truth. So I've written them down and made something out of them. And another thing I do is I just come up with a lot of ideas when I'm doing absolutely nothing, when I am stuck commuting somewhere or cleaning, or even exercising. Not that I do that very much, but yeah, those are some of the best ways I find to just have ideas pop up.
What advice do you have for aspiring authors?
One piece of advice I would say for aspiring authors is to trust yourself. Sometimes I don't go anywhere with a project because I'll be so worried that it's not good enough, and I'll be really worried what people think, and I'll send it off to my friends for their opinions, and they'll have criticisms, and then that will just make me not want to work on it at all. I think you need to trust that the stuff you're doing is good and it is unique to you. If you send it off to your friends and they give you feedback that matches what you already think about it, you know, if they say, oh, this line doesn't really work, or maybe this could be a bit better, and you agree with that, then yeah, act on those notes. But otherwise, do trust yourself. Do have faith in yourself, and don't let projects just go nowhere because you're paralyzed with fear.
Thank you so much for joining me in today's Author's Corner, TomSka. Now, where can we find your new book?
Thanks for having me, Tee Cee. You can get your hands on my new little book here, Sam Kills Christmas, on November 8th. There's also an accompanying animated short film coming out as well. Like I said, I'm not a very strong reader, so I wanted something that I'd be able to watch as well. It's going to be in stores. Which stores? Find out. That'll be the mystery that we can solve together. It is going to be in Forbidden Planet, which is my favorite comic book store that I'm always in because I'm a big nerd. Okay, I'm going to go now. Bye!